4, 3,
Get ready.
2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good morning. It is indeed Blog Talk Radio, and you're here at the K Factor, where K equals kindness, and the factors are all the things that lead to it. And we're here for Thankful Thursdays. I am your host, Dr. Deb Carlin, and I'm here with the ever lovely Alexandra Nickolai. Good morning, Alexandra. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
You know, vacillating, quite frankly. And we were talking about this before we went live. It's a very weird time in the world. It's a very odd time. The energy. I thought it was maybe just the United States. Well, let me back up. First, I thought it was just me. And I'm thinking about my coping mechanisms and what's wrong with me and how come I'm making such a big deal out of this? It's just politics. And then I think to myself, no, because I got a lot of people, calling for help, and I've got a lot of people in my world. As a matter of fact, there's nobody in my world who isn't just a few hairs off of normal these days. People are stressed and worried and freaked out. And then I thought, well, maybe it's just my circle. And then I'm thinking, no. And then I thought, well, maybe it's just America. And then I'm communicating with friends in Costa Rica, in Italy, and in Austria. And guess what? Not better. So there's a global ick that is like, we got to do a lot of energy work to clear it. It's like another nuclear bomb went off.
Yeah.
Without the smoke.
Yeah.
And so, quite
it's
frankly,
easy to just think it's just you. It's interesting you say that, because I sometimes feel like, am I the only one who it just wakes up feeling blah sometimes? And you're not, and I'm not. And it's important to remind ourselves of that.
Well, and then I think to myself, it's pathetic because I live alone. And so I'm just exaggerating the whole thing because I don't have anybody to talk to about it who's like waking up in the bed right next to me. And then I think, every couple I know is kind of going, oh my God, what are we going to do? It's like you got to count on the energy of the other person to either lift you or you're trying to drag them out of where they're at. So there's nobody who's exempt. There's nobody who's any better off than anybody else.
Yeah.
And whether you like them or not, our president has got to wake up in the morning, and I have no doubt that he's energized and thrusty and ready to go after the world. But give me a break. The man is criticized by everybody all day long, and it doesn't matter what he does. It's never right. So I think that there's a sinful energy.
Yeah. My family and I were just talking about that exact thing, with, you don't have to like the president or not, but he doesn't have to do this job. You have to really love your country to want to be the president.
Oh my God.
Because it is a thankless job, especially times right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the other part of this is, and this is the part that I appreciate about myself, even though I feel this intolerance of where it is that we're at. One of the things that is happening in our world, and this does lead into thankfulness for us on Thursday here, but one of the things that's happening in our world is that if you believe in a higher power, you believe in God, you believe in the universe, you believe in Mother Nature, there is a total cleansing. Why? Because there's a planet here of corruption that's gone without anybody being courageous enough to say, wait a second. But you get somebody who is courageous enough, who is a globally sophisticated business person, and they look at the picture and then they start saying, wait a second, these things all are in need of correction. And then comes that conversation about clean out the swamp. Now, again, I don't care who you vote for, and if you're Republican, Democrat, nonpartisan, independent, this is about life and perspective. So when somebody walks into any situation, I mean, I see it when I walk into a business or a family and I say, we got to clean out the swamp here. I never have used those words. But when I say, we need to do a real assessment and then look at a plan of action that might constitute change, people get very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And if anybody has been corrupt, somebody's embezzling or blackmailing or being nefarious in any kind of a way, boy, I'll tell you what. I mean, there's gamesmanship up one side and down the other. And I've been in those situations where I've come in because there's something that's suspicious and we've needed to get to the bottom of it. As a matter of fact, it's every single thing I do every day. It's just to what degree. But what the president of the United States of America is come out and said is there is massive corruption. The American people have been sold to another part of the world, and we need to get that back, and we need to make all these corrections here. Now, let me be clear. Do I like his verbiage? No. Do I appreciate his attitude? A lot of times I sure do not. I like gentility and gentlemanly, and I've seen him be that way. But our icky moods, the things that we started the show talking about today, is a part of that energy that's been kicked up. It's like the picture of the sea right over my head here.
Yeah.
It's been kicked up and there's stuff flying everywhere. And it's like air pollution. You can't get away from it. You just can't. So here's my hope. And here's my thankfulness and the core of why I thought that Thursdays needed to be dedicated to thankfulness. And God bless you for being here. And I don't care where else you go. I just made an executive decision that even though you're going to be in Aspen with your partners for a week, we got to do a 2 a.m. show. Get you sleep while they don't know. Just wear spare sunglasses and look like you're awake because we're getting up and doing the show. Because going a Thursday without Thankful Thursdays with you is going to really throw my mojo off.
Yeah.
Because we get into these great conversations. So stop and think about this. Once you clean it up, it's like when you get the dust out of your house, you wipe every shelf off, every item in the shelf off. It looks better. You can breathe better. You're confident about having people over. You sit down without distraction, fold your arms and take a breath and go, I love it. It is right now. I think that we have a real possibility of that happening right now.
Yeah. And that's kind of a good analogy for how I get myself out of my funk sometimes. It's a lot of the energy around you. And I just, like this week, just woke up and just dusted myself off essentially and said, you know what? I just going to have to let those last couple of days go. It's fine. I'm human, move on. Yesterday I said I'm going to go on my walk, jump in the shower, do my hair, take myself out to lunch. And that's what I did. And just said, I'm just going to, change the energy, change the scenery.
Yeah.
Change the channel. We've talked about that before.
That's right.
And I've really, really worked on my my gratitude affirmations this week. I lay in my bed for about 10 minutes and a lot of what we talked about last week. I am worthy. I am enough. I go over some things I'm thankful for, people in my life or things. I say, I love you, love my body, I love my mind. Thank you for my health, all the things. And I have a 5-minute gratitude meditation I've started to do every morning. And the challenge was to do it every morning for 30 days. So we'll see how that starts to shift. Cause I'm trying to live in gratitude every day right now. And awareness of what I'm thankful for. And, I don't know what else to do sometimes.
Yeah. The routines that we go through are really essential. And so here's one of the things that I had written about for our show this morning, because there's always an intro on Blog Talk Radio. And then, it's how I label the show with our date and all that, right? So the date time stamping our show. So what I'm talking about in terms of us today is I'm saying that we're going to dive into what it is that matters the absolute most. How about the love of the self, the actual true and genuine appreciation of who you are and what you are? So, one of the things that I know absolutely that we have to do, you're talking about it, practices. Um, Health is not an event, it's a habit. You talked about having gone for a 2 mile hike this morning. Absolutely exquisite. I did that yesterday. I would have done it this morning. I woke up and it's a beautiful thunderstorm, cracks of lightning, raining hard. But the rain is subsiding now. So I'm looking out the window. I will take my habitual walk today because I need to. It is that dust off your arms, get the ick off, shake your hands, and get out there and make it happen. But self-love, genuine self-love. So every morning, yes, I lay in bed and I'm doing exactly what you're saying. But you know what? Then I'm getting up. I'm telling my Alexa app um, to play whatever the music is that I want to hear. Mostly it's relaxing classical or gentle jazz. And it gets my mind into a good space, or I'll instruct her to play music that I know is going to be healing for a particular part of my anatomy and physiology. And then I put on either my heart math device and I do that meditation where I'm able to see with biofeedback the connection between my thinking and the pace of my heart, the rhythm of my heart. So I get to see my heart rhythm. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm working with a frequency device that came out of Austria, and that for me is amazing because I wear it pretty much all day. And I am working on frequency medicine. And this isn't something funky and out of a back alley somewhere. This is actual quantum physics. And this is hard science. And I am looking at this, is going to sound goofy to people. And I know people aren't used to hearing me say this, but everybody has images and imagery. I'm able to scientifically assess my auras and my chakras and check my meridians. Now, I studied Chinese medicine for the last many decades, starting when I was in my 20s, and do the treatments through frequency and vibration. That is exactly what, in a different format that's really calibrated, the Tibetan monks have done for as long as they've been around with sound bowls.
Yeah.
It's the glass bowls where you run a wand around it, around the circumference of it, and you are hitting notes that are healing the cells in your body. So it's really functional medicine where we're getting down on a cellular level, and we're creating shifts. And if anybody's sitting there and thinking, well, this is the most hog manure I've ever heard, go to Google or Google Scholar and look up screaming cells and look at the research from University of Wisconsin out of Madison, where they literally examined water in petri dishes and in divot plates, where you've got like a series of 12 divots in the plate, and you examine under microscope the cells that are in there, and see what's happening to them given whatever it is you're doing. And usually you're hitting them with a probe or you're adding a substance. What they did was they controlled the sound, and they would
Right.
put screaming hard rap music or screaming loud raucous hard rock music. The water cells exploded. They
Yeah.
quivered and then they exploded. Okay.
Yeah, I remember us talking about
Right.
this. It's
There
a
you go.
really, it's a real
It's
phenomenon.
it's a real thing. So, I'm looking at this every day, Alexandra, and I'm thinking to myself, my cells are screaming inside of my body, because what am I doing inside of my head when I'm watching the news, or I'm hearing the conversations, or I'm watching people freak out about something or another, in real life or on TV or on the internet? I'm screaming on the inside, and
Yeah.
thinking to myself, no, stop. Or there's a part of me that does that. So I right away have got to, before I start approaching and seeing that, I need to do a read on myself and do the corrections and do the healing. And then I'm doing it all day long. I'm drinking herbal teas that I know are going to make a difference, working with essential oils that I know that are going to make a difference. And I am doing all the holism ritualistically every day as a habit that I know that we need to do. Absolutely need to do it.
Yeah, it's very important. It's very important to me how I start my day and what
Yes.
energy I let in as the first thing.
Do
And
you write by hand? Do you write anything with your hand on paper?
yeah, I do journal.
Isn't that powerful?
Yeah, journaling is and that for me, it's never the news in the morning. It's never my email first thing in the morning.
Right.
But I have read that journaling, because yeah, you want to keep the negative thoughts at bay for sure. But journaling is a very therapeutic way to release the negativity in your mind and in your body, putting it on paper, and it's almost like
A bloodletting.
yeah, letting it go and releasing it out instead of talking about it or thinking about it over and over again.
Right.
Journaling is very therapeutic in terms of just like letting the brain dump out whatever the anxieties are, the fear or anger, whatever you might be feeling about what situations in your life or the world around you. And so you can just put it on the piece of paper and move on. But yeah, I have really worked hard to wake up to a more peaceful energy and not turn on anything that is opposite of that first thing in the morning. Even till now, it's 9:15 where I live, and I have yet to open my email or turn on the TV.
Good for you.
I scrolled Facebook and Instagram really quick, just to make sure I didn't get any messages or anything like that. But and my feed remains pretty positive. I'm pretty selective of who I'm following and who's on my feed. But yeah, I don't know since yesterday what has transpired in the news, and that's okay. And so
Well, here's the interesting part. There's something new every day, but the ugliness of the themes don't really change much right now. And
right.
so it's, what we can count on there is something that's going to get our cells screaming, which
Yeah,
is
5 to 10 minutes, so you know what's going on, and then move on, because it's the same thing all day long. So 5 to 10 minutes of making sure that the world around you is still spinning, so to speak, and that's all you need.
So here's a toast to our cup of whatever we're drinking here. Coffee, water, tea,
Mine is LaCroix lemon sparkling water
Oh yeah, I love that.
with lemon squeezed in it, and 2 capfuls of apple cider vinegar.
That's wonderful. That's so weird. That's such a deja vu for me, because I had a dream. I just triggered it. I had a dream of you this morning of putting apple cider vinegar into a beverage. Now, what in the world?
Wow.
What time did you do that?
Just as I jumped on the Zoom.
Well, then I was predicting that you were going to do it. I mean, that is a weird thing. Do you get deja vu?
Yeah.
Get these interesting visions?
Yeah, something like, oh, I feel like I've been here before. Yeah, it's what
Yeah.
I love the LaCroix,
Water.
no sugar, no artificial stuff in there. I drink lime or lemon, and then obviously squeezing lemon, and then the apple cider vinegar makes the drink very alkaline, which is of course what you want over acidic. So
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what? That gives me another idea about another target for sponsorship, because we could have right here, LaCroix. You could have
yeah,
right there, LaCroix. You know, we love the product. Fiji water, love the product.
yep,
You need both.
yep,
Yeah. So one of the other things that I think about in terms of love of self is I look at all the things that I need to be doing that really indicate for me my love of myself in the midst of all this other stuff that seems to promote self-loathing. And I what the pathway that I see is you get this bad news, you get all these accusations across all these different people, and as soon as you start to identify an advocacy for either side, you then feel guilty because you have to defend against what the other side is saying. And if you find yourself going after the offending side, then you feel guilty because you've got these ugly feelings coming up. And so it's a no-win situation for anyone who is a bystander, because there is no such thing as a real true bystander. Everybody watches, and everybody, no exemptions, everybody starts to develop an opinion, and the fervor of that exacerbates and does damage. So the way that you and I are recommending to people right here, right now, hey, look, don't get up and use the remote control if you've got your television in your bedroom. Don't do that. Lay there for a while and then get up and do some other things,
I don't even have a TV in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I haven't had one for years. I do not watch TV before bed. I do
Yeah.
not. I have been falling asleep on the couch a couple of times though, which I'm really trying to do. It's terrible for you. And I'm really
Yes.
trying to, and I don't even know. It's like, I don't even feel tired. And the next thing I know, I wake up and it's 2:00 in the morning. And I thought, what just happened? I was thinking, I was like, okay, I'm going to finish watching this last little show and then go to bed. And
Right, exactly. So, see, I saved myself the journey. That's all I've done. So, but I do have rules about what it is that television is going to do. I will not watch anything other than something that is love or comedy, or, like a mystery, you know. And by mystery, I mean things like a Hallmark movie,
yeah,
or reruns of Jessica Fletcher on Murder She Wrote, or Diagnosis Murder. I mean, because they're all, you know how it's going to go. It's going to be intriguing. Nothing's going to make you jump. So when people, I've had, it's so funny because I've had so many people want to invite me into watching a documentary or a movie that's really horrifying, and I say, excuse me, do you understand what I do for a living? It's about well-being, and like getting your house inside of your head in a good place. Why would I want to go there? Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's right. And by the way, why do you?
yeah.
Like, no offense, Stephen King, but I think that you're the creepiest author in the universe. I could no more read one of your books than I could set it on fire. I mean, I wouldn't ever set it on fire, but I also I started to open up and read one when I was really naive, when I first saw that he came out, what was going on. It scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, horror films are not for me. I have read some of his books. But I don't do the horror or like the super gory, and because it does affect you.
Yeah, it does.
And especially right now in this kind of the world that we're living in, that is something that we don't have control over a lot of things. I get it. I that's where it's getting a lot of people right now, is because
That's right.
things are spinning, the dust is getting kicked up, and we don't have a lot of
We have
control
no
over it,
vacuum
but
cleaner.
you can control those types of things. And
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
really a great way to define self-care and self-love, and give, the audience some tips on really small shifts that you can do that don't cost money.
Right.
You don't have to be a specialist. You don't have to go out and buy something. You don't have to, spend 3 hours a day meditating, and, that you don't have time for, and this, that, and the other thing. But there's a lot of little shifts you can do that could become bigger. It'll all snowball and get you to a.
Talk about what some of those are, because I'm running through a bunch in my head, but I want to hear from you first.
Well, just what we talked about, limiting the negative things you watch. That's really easy. Change, you're going to sit down and watch a movie with the family. Be mindful and selective about what that movie is. For me, we talked about at the beginning of the show, I do a meditation in the morning. It's 5 minutes.
Really?
So if you cannot, it's a 5 minutes on gratitude. It's a guided meditation. If you can't find 5 minutes, then we have other problems. So, anyone can find 5 minutes and do it for 30 days and
Absolutely.
see how that changes how your outlook on a lot of things. I don't know. I'm picky about the things I put in. I don't drink soda. I maybe drink 2 or 3
Never.
Diet Coke a year, maybe.
Never.
I used to drink a Diet Coke every day.
Oh my God.
And I was to the point where if I ran out of Diet Coke at home, I would have to stop somewhere and get one on the way to work, and I would be late. And I would acknowledge that it was going to make me late because I needed my Diet Coke so intensely.
Wow.
And now I drink, like I said, 2, maybe 3 a year. And it's not really because I want one. I just like, oh yeah, I can have one. But it's the addiction to them is gone. So just shifting a little bit about what you put in your body, being mindful of your water. I found it, like, for me to get enough water, I had to get a bigger water bottle. So I have a 40-ounce water bottle, because if I'm doing like a cup of water or I'm drinking out of a bottle, which I don't like all the plastic anyway.
Either.
So the reusable bottle is good, but otherwise I'd lose track of the day. How many cups am I on? How many 16-ounce bottles did I drink? All
Right.
that kind of thing. I got a 40-ounce water bottle, and I just know I need to drink 2 to 2.5 of those a day to get the 80 to 100 ounces. And it seems to work for me. So just finding little things that work for you, little shifts. But that's, meditating, journaling, controlling what you listen to, what you read, what you watch.
So good. All right. So we'll share here. So my friend Joy Martina reminded me of the value of doing all kinds of things. So she has this little girl, Grace, who's adorable. She's just a little tiny girl. She's maybe 10. And sorry, Grace, if you ever see this episode and I got your age wrong, but she is just this lovely child. So she and Joy are sitting in their home, and they're in Austria right now. And they're going to drink out of these beautiful champagne glasses that are crystal, and they're going to clink them, and you hear the beautiful sound. And they're going to have a piece of cake. So they each have their plate, and they're pouring the water into the glasses, and they're talking about the way in which Joy has them put little notes on everything. And so I did this. I've got these little sticky pads. Some of them are in the shape of a star. Some of them are just different colors of the little squares of Post-it notes. And on my water pitcher, and it's cooling actually in the refrigerator right now, because I'm going to have a meeting here, and people are going to drink water that's labeled happiness, courage, thankfulness, joyfulness. And so I am blessing those water cells, just like we were talking about the screaming cells. When you play them beautiful music, then beautiful things happen there. And so, like, as we're talking about this, don't you feel better just as we're even talking about gratitude practices? And then with every bite of the cake that they took, they would say, okay, we are thankful, and it was fun. It was a game. It was silly. They would giggle a little bit. Look at this beautiful piece of cake. Now here, you've put the fork up against it. It's real spongy here at the yellow part. Oh, Grace, what is the part in between there? Ooh, it's a really creamy frosting. Oh, all right, let's each take a bite. Let's savor it. There's a little bit of granulated sugar, so it's got a little crunch. It's melting in your mouth. Okay, a moment later, what are you experiencing? Well, if you don't eat much sugar, you're immediately experiencing it in your bloodstream, and you feel that little rush. It's like drinking an espresso coffee if you only drink regular coffee. So doing fun things like that, I found myself in such a kind of a drag yesterday. I thought, drag? How about if I drag myself over to my Post-it notes and start writing things? And when you were talking about that 5 minutes, And so you can do that for any meal, anytime. I do it while I'm sitting here at my desk during the day. I've got my coffee cup, I've got my water. I can do that. Well, then there's also, what about when you look at yourself in the mirror or you look at yourself on camera and you've got a notation somewhere that says, you're beautiful, something that says, you're enough.
Yep.
So if you don't think you can do a 5-minute meditation because you're so freaking antsy, you can't sit still for 5 minutes. Okay, well, how about if when you're brushing your teeth, take 5 minutes to brush your teeth? That's a long toothbrushing.
Yeah.
Take 5 minutes to be brushing your teeth and be looking in the mirror and be saying silently to yourself, I absolutely love you. Look at that beautiful face. Look at that hair. Or if you shave your head, look at that shiny head of yours. Something, but say things that are kind, that are loving. And
Yeah.
then, like when you're in the shower, oh, I love touching every part of my body. And I love the aromas that I'm using. I love this cloth. And, if we allow the love, that is the ultimate. That is the absolute ultimate. And, you know, in that is a prayer to our Creator, because who and what created us is in us, so we are them and they are us. So it's a fashion of prayerfulness all together.
Yeah.
When people are having horrible digestive issues and they're either really blocked up or things are running through them too freely, I say, while you go in there and you sit there, put your hands across your belly, between your hips or on your tummy, so you're in your digestive area, and just say, I love what it is that happens inside of my body. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna gently move my hands over these surfaces and love every part of what's going on here. And it makes a huge difference, as opposed to, Alexandra, I'm so worried about our people in the way that we run away, run away, run away. Got to get out of my head here. Got to go shopping. Got to go run. Got to go do this. Can I get it? Can I get a glass of wine? I need a cocktail.
Yeah.
No, you don't need it. Why do you want it so bad?
Yeah. I agree. And I actually just was, as you were mentioning that about your thoughts and how you treat your body and different things, I just did a Wellness Wednesday post yesterday, and the quote was, choose your thoughts wisely, for they are the energy that creates your life.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
pay attention to, and I was listening to another podcast too, and they actually talked about doing if you don't think you're negative, for example, or you think, oh, I don't think negative thoughts about myself or others, or rarely do I, or whatever, take out what you call a complaint journal. And every time
Oh.
you have a negative thought, write it down. You'd be really surprised, because even thinking about, like, if you think you're a positive person, which I do, I think overall I'm a very positive person. And, but even talking about somebody that complains,
Yeah.
if you say, she complains so much. Oh, my coworker is always complaining. That's a negative thought. You complaining about somebody complaining is negative. So we don't even realize, it's not just saying I hate my body, or I'm this, or I hate my hair, or, whatever. That's obvious stuff. But there's some other thoughts that come in that are negative that we don't even realize. And I thought that was so interesting. Even me saying, gosh, I don't want to be around that person so much because she complains all the time, is negative. And then they have the opposite, the flip side of it. Every time you had a negative thought about somebody, to write 10 things positive about them after. And that should be for yourself as well. If you have a negative thought about yourself, figure out 10 nice things to say to yourself.
Oh, God, that is brilliant. That is such a good idea. Just weigh it out. So instead of ever complaining about someone, really to be in discernment and to say, this person really has revealed themselves to me, to just be a person who is not willing to give themselves the time to go deep, to do self-love, to be reflective, I am going to extend a thought in their direction to feel invited into doing exactly that. But they don't get to come into my world and into my day every day, or maybe any day, and bring their stuff here because I'm not accepting delivery. I mean, and you know what, Alexandra, I'm actually in the position with a few people who I love dearly, but in the conversation, I am challenged to stay the course with what you and I are talking about, and take every commentary and have it go to the lighter side, to the lovely. And here's something that my friend Shelley Barr does with me. This is hilarious. She's a radio personality down in St. Louis, Missouri on KSLQ, and she is hysterical. She doesn't think she's a radio personality, but oh yes, she is. She really is.
Yeah.
And so a couple times I've said something that she just thought was really self-critical, and she looks at me, and we're always doing FaceTime, and she looks at me and she goes, "Right now, say it. Delete, delete, delete." I was like, delete? What do you mean delete? Take it back. You put it out to the universe. Delete, delete, delete. And then, she's like, do it. And she won't stop until I cooperate with her. Okay, delete, delete, delete. All right, now restate it. Restate it in a way that's going to be positive, that's going to undo that. It's all gone. Now recreate it. Okay, all right. All right. So I am a person who loves to exercise. My body has been tired. I have given it the rest that it needs. And now I will allow myself the beauty of the experience of moving my entire anatomy and physiology. And I will be that beautiful, svelte self yet again.
Awesome.
Right?
I
As
have a friend that
opposed,
does the same. Instead of delete, uses the word cancel.
there you go.
Somebody says something negative, cancel.
Yeah.
Then they get mad that you say cancel, just cancel them.
Right.
So
God.
yeah, I
like
got to remind
delete 'cause
myself
it's
of that
like,
more. Cancel.
yeah, I like delete because it's the button on my computer,
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
right. So when one of the things that used to bother me when I was growing up and when I was in my early 20s, and people, and in all, it kind of every now and again, somebody will get mad at me and say, "Are you ever not optimistic?" It's like, I didn't understand that that was an offense. So, what is it that you're asking me? Would you like for me to take that song in my heart and the lift that I allow myself in this life? Because come on, we're sitting here, we're both breathing,
Right.
you know. We're both able to see and to breathe and to be. So, how about if we take that beautiful lift and allow something beautiful to emerge from that in a lovely way? So why would you not want me to introduce you to my optimism daily? What's wrong with that?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But people, Alexandra, this is a beautiful time for us to talk about the ways in which there are people who, in their life experience, have met with unhealthy and cruel and negative. And so when kindness and beauty comes their way, they're looking really close at your face because they're sure there must be a blemish there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for the hole in your compliment.
Yes.
And so I think that the approach for us, if you and I are genuine, and if you and I are really dedicated to self-love and health and well-being in the ways that we describe, then what we do for people is we say, with gentility, I tell you that I really care about you. It's with gentility I tell you I think that you're lovely.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people need to hear stuff like that because there's a lot of people out there that have never heard it, rarely hear it, only hear it once in a while. And, that's a gift that we as the host of the show, but the listeners out there can give other people. Who can you who can you share some love and kindness and gratitude with every day?
Right. So do you know a girl by the name of Gabrielle Bernstein on the internet?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Gabrielle Bernstein is this beautiful, tall, long blonde hair, not so much different than us. New Yorker who I mean, you see her website and it's beautiful, and it's very dark in the background, and then she is like the light in the middle of it, and that is what she is. And she calls herself the spiritual junkie because, in fact, she was heavily into alcohol and heavily into drugs. And it's a beautiful thing that she's done the cleansing that she's done, because you'd never know it looking at her, because she's beautiful, because she's gone through all the cleansings, right?
Yeah.
Not just physically, but also spiritually. So her spiritual junkiness is amazing. And what I think is so sweet is she really reminds people, I love you. I love you. Her communications, I love you. And I've noticed that there's a series of women who are doing that and saying things with their signature that is a tagline. And in case nobody told you today, I love you. Now, wow, when I first started reading it, I thought, really? Like, are they writing me a personal note? And then I thought to myself, they are courageous to do that. But once you start to do that, the natural feel of that is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's become something that, that I don't want to say working on, but been more aware of or conscious about is, telling the people that are special in my life that they are, instead of just assuming that they know. I had a friend I have known since college um, call me last week, and we don't talk on the phone a lot, a few times a year, but but even despite that, I consider him one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And we were just chatting, and I don't know even how it came out or whatever it was. And I just said, I love you. And he was like, oh, I love you too. And it was out of friendship, and um, yeah, it was really nice to say. And it's nice that it's becoming more comfortable for me. And I don't take the words lightly, though. I mean it. I mean, I absolutely adore this person.
Yeah.
And I know he would do just about anything for me, and vice versa. And so to share, and even with some of my girlfriends, I've been sharing more about, I appreciate you. I appreciate you in my life. I had a friend just text me a couple nights ago, and I just was just thinking about you, and I'm just really grateful to have you as a friend. Like, how wonderful is just that? That
Yes.
takes you. That's another thing.
Yeah.
We just
Yes.
talked about things that you can do in your day that cost you little to nothing and
Right.
almost no time, to send a quick text to a friend. Hey, I'm just thinking about you. I love you, and I'm grateful to have you in my life.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what that would do to, if you sent one of those a day.
Right.
So, and that's what we need more of that. And we need more people that are sharing that and being comfortable.
I used to make greeting cards, and I love making greeting cards.
Yeah.
Just the artistic tone of it, and the, using scissors and glue and markers and pencils and Crayolas and pens and getting artistic with all of it is delightful fun. Um, I always mean it. I don't say it when I don't mean it, but I love to tell people that I love them.
Yeah.
My clients, when I'm talking to a client or a patient, I'll say, I absolutely love you. I think you're just a wonderful person. And they go, oh, really? Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't do the work that I do if I didn't. Really, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I love you. I love you for being here on Thursday, and that we do this. And I love the exchange that we have. And you and I have said repeatedly, being here is something that we both look forward to. It's like, it doesn't feel virtual, does it?
No.
I know, isn't it weird?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's really funny is that during the recording on Zoom, It's always two squares. You're on the top and I'm on the lower square. And when the recording comes out, it is often that we are side by side when you look at it after it's posted up to YouTube. And there are times when the two squares, the way that they line up, it's like we are sitting in a room together, and there is this interesting transition of the color of the wall. And I swear to God, it looks like we're sitting in the same room together. And I think that is, it's magical. It's just delightful that it's that way.
Yeah.
And I have some people who have been resistant. There's a couple of reading groups that I run. And there are people who have said, I don't want to do it. Let's just wait till we can get back in person. Okay, well, you want to give up the year? No, I don't know. So what I've tried to do is get them, just come once and look to see how comfortable this actually can be. So you
Right.
got to set it up. Like if you want to do Zoom from your bed and you're laying down and you got the camera on your belly, it's going to be very unattractive. And I guarantee you that it's going to be uncomfortable for you. But set it up, like you and I have taken time to set up our cameras, set up our sound systems so that we hear and see. And it's like we're just sitting here having a conversation. And hopefully our audience is saying, I wish I was there.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah. I agree. I wish our audience was here too, but it's the way that we are right now, and it's become a great way to connect.
Yeah, it
This
has.
Zoom has, and I've thought about doing some virtual happy hours with some of my clients that are still at home, and so we can, I know that they're missing their friends and they're missing their groups, and
Right.
so it's important to stay connected. And
Right. So there are apps that I have tried that friends of mine have introduced me to. There's one called Parlor, and there's another one called a House Party or something. And you meet all in one place, and then you get assigned, the invitation to. There's a instead of a grid like we've got here on Zoom, there's a grid that'll say go to the sunroom, and the initials of the person in there will be there, and you can go in and either sit on a couch or a chair. The thing I don't like about it is that um you're not seeing the person. There's not a camera capacity in each of those rooms.
oh,
So you see yourself sitting like on a blueprint. So I like Zoom, and I think with the right moderator, we can have this experience here be absolutely spectacular. And one of the things I don't think that people have done really well, and I think that you and I have decided that we want to do an event the first weekend in December. I think we ought to invite people to come here first and experience how lovely this is.
mm,
And then from there, I've started the marketing of that to get people excited about being at events. But the excitement will mount with the virtual experience first, and the experience that people have there, then craving to do more. And by the way, if people don't, then we just have more events that are really virtual, that are so warm and yummy, where you say to people, okay, dress really comfortably, put on your favorite snuggly sweatpants, you know, Lululemon, whatever, a t-shirt and a yummy sweater, or whatever is appropriate for the climate that you're in, and just come and be
right.
and do it.
That sounds lovely.
Now, when you all are in Aspen, you and your business momentum syndicate, are you all going to have a camera set up and be public with some of your audience, and have the whole group there on camera? Like, do you have a big screen TV so that the audience can see all of you?
Yeah, we will. We're going to be live every day for the 5 of the days that we're there, and the first day we'll all be live. They'll be able to see all of us in the background, but each of the 5 days, where one of us is coaching on a certain topic. So each day will be a different coach, which is really a great, they're not great, it's different for a challenge. Normally it's a 5-day challenge on whatever topic it might be, growing your business, launching, but it's the same coach every day. Whereas ours is a different coach every day. So it's in a way, it's like a summit, but it's a challenge. And so each day we'll teach on a different topic with regards to female entrepreneurs and launching your business.
So, who is this for? The members inside the syndicate?
Yeah, for the members and anyone interested in possibly joining, because the challenge is free.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, it's just for female entrepreneurs, small to mid-sized businesses, or you haven't even launched yet, but you want to launch something online, or you want to take your current business online. We have people that do have virtual businesses and then in the group, but we also have people that are selling actual products. We have a woman who just launched a jewelry line. We have a woman who does vegan croissants. I cannot wait to get those.
So is the audience going to see one another like in a big Zoom call?
Yes.
Oh,
They'll all
that's
be on Zoom.
awesome.
So they'll see all the little, they'll see everybody around.
And how many people do you anticipate will attend?
We would love to have around 100. I think we have about 55 signed up right now.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And what are the hours?
So we will launch on November 1st, which is a Sunday, in the evening. So that will be, actually, I'll be leading that session just to that's going to be on mindset, getting you in the right place, open your heart, open your mind to learning and doing new things. And the rest of the team will be there. And then we go.
And what time is that?
That is, I will tell you.
This is a little infomercial we're doing here.
Yes, and I appreciate that. It is 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So we'll be out in Aspen, so it will be 6 p.m. Mountain time, Sunday night. And then during the week, it will be 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday to Thursday. And then there will also be recording. So you have to sign up for the challenge to get on the list. And if you do that and you're not able to make it to the live session, you will get the recording after and you can watch it later. So you can still get all the content. And we're giving away a lot of prizes. So you definitely want to be there.
How many hours a day is it going to be live?
The training will be 1 hour a day. The first night might be a little bit longer because Sunday night, because we'll go over what to expect in the challenge, all the things, and then go into the content. But then during the week, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time for 1 hour. And then there'll be we've got a Facebook group so you can post what you learn, takeaways. We'll have raffles. So every time you post in the group, you'll get a raffle ticket to win some really awesome prizes.
Okay, so it begins November 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would mean that would be 7 Central. And actually that would be 5 Pacific time.
5 Pacific time, right?
Yeah.
6 o'clock Mountain time.
Yeah. All these time zones. And so where do people go to sign up for that?
They can go to Facebook, to the Business Momentum Syndicate. If you just search in the top search it'll come up as a group.
Okay.
You can request to join the group, and there'll be information on the challenge in there, and you can also leave your email. So then you get on the list and you'll get the link for the live sessions and the recordings. We do have a website to sign up, but it's too long for me to try to tell you guys.
It's a little arduous. Everybody's on Facebook for the most part.
Exactly. Yeah. They just find the group. If you're a female woman, business owner, or you're wanting to launch, maybe you're working full time and you want to start a business on the side, or you've already started one. It's a really great networking group. We've got a lot of business being exchanged between the members, and like I said, the challenge will be fun because we'll be giving away some prizes and stuff too, just for participating. So
fabulous. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you'll see us from our our beautiful home in Aspen, which we can't wait. I can't wait to see the inside of it in person, but it looks spectacular.
So this is a rental, and this rental is because this business syndicate has decided that what you want to do is you want to have events for you as the founding members, and you needed a place to all be able to come together. And so you joined a group. Do you want to talk about that group? The housing group?
Yeah, we just have a travel membership. So it's worked out really well because we want to hold a mansion. We want to have masterminds where we're all in the same place instead of a hotel. I attended one of them with a completely separate group earlier in the year, and it was a lot of fun, but it was just to be able to network, all sit down for dinner together. They brought in a chef, he cooked all of our meals. So it was a really great experience.
So
And
do you want to talk about what that group is called? What that company is called?
yeah, it's Inspirato.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful national company called Inspirato, inspired, and lovely people running it. And they've got properties around the country for sure. Do they have properties around the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so it's a membership to join, and then you have the rights to book one property at a time for events that you want to do. So when you're talking about having a mastermind there, what are the sleeping arrangements? How many people can you have? Like how many people were at the one that you were at?
It depends on the location and the size of the home. They vary. They have everything from small cottages to mansions that sleep 16. So far, the one that I went to earlier this year wasn't with that company. It was a completely different group. They just, I don't know how they found the house.
Yeah.
The RVO maybe, I have no idea. And there was probably close to 20 of us there. So we did share a room, but I had been in this mastermind with these people for the whole year. So we knew everybody for the most part before going, which would be different than potentially my group. So
Right.
yeah, there will be opportunity for private or shared accommodations, and it'll just depend on interest. And we want to keep them small because when you come, especially if you're coming for the mastermind with regards to building your business, we want to be able to sit down in like almost a boardroom setting and map out your business. What are your goals? What are you trying to do? Are you launching? Are you scaling? What are your obstacles? And then brainstorm basically what a mastermind about how you can achieve those goals. So with regards to my business momentum syndicate, those masterminds will be on the smaller side for sure, because we really want to be able to give that one-on-one attention.
Well, here we are at the end of our hour. She just said 90 seconds while you were speaking.
Oh, flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah. So thank you, Alexandra, for today. This has been wonderful. And on that note, I'm going to say au revoir, à tout à l'heure. We'll see you in another hour. And this is your host, Dr. Deb Carlin, here at K Factor with Alexandra Nickolai, where we do Thankful Thursday. So, Alexandra, hold on for a second.